hitting something and having that sensation travel in your arm, but immediately affect your nervous system, right? It's, you know, percussion is powerful for a reason. You know, it's been with us for thousands of years and not going anywhere. So I'm human, so it excites me. What drew me to drumming and rhythm, my first memory anyways of being attracted to something like that is in a marching band, hearing the bass drum, basically, the impact of that. You know, and like during the Memorial, November 11th, Remembrance Day parades, that's generally the only time I'd see a parade with a band, or during a Christmas parade. So the Sea Cadets, the local Sea Cadets in Carbonear, they had a band, and I remember the drums in that band. When they pass, when they get close to you, right, you're standing, the parade's moving. When they get close to you, right, they come and disappear. It's like, wow, something awesome is going on there. But that was when I was like, you know, 7, 8, I don't remember what time that was. 11 or 12, I was infatuated with hip hop, rap music. That was my first music that I got into, which is innately rhythmic, right? It's rhythmic music. The rhymes are in awesome rhythms. The sound, the production, it's all percussion based, sometimes just voice and percussion. So that's what really schooled my ear first musically, that and eventually heavy metal, which again, very rhythmic music. So, but yeah, when I was like 11, 12, getting into Run DMC, LL Cool J, and continuing with that as I developed a more broader palette of musical interests. But it was when I was 14, I guess, I was given the choice of I asked if I could have a drum set for a Christmas present, or I could go on a school trip. I could do either or. So I chose the drums and just taught myself to play drums in my basement, listening to all this hip hop music. I just try and play those beats, listening to the heavy metal music, and then a little bit of funk and reggae thrown in. But again, percussion beyond drum set was still not on my radar. I wasn't aware of all this other world that existed there. Actually, I met Don Weary here in St. John's because when I moved here to go to my first and second year of third year university, I ended up taking lessons with him and joining his ensemble. And he really opened my eyes to a lot more percussive textures and possibilities. He first showed me a quintuplet. I was blown away. I was like, wow, you can do that too? That's like, you know, the gates were open. I was like, what else is possible? But he hit me to a lot of different musics, actually, and involved me in the Sound Symposium. And he basically connected me to a lot of the people and the trajectory that I've been on for the last, over 20 years, I guess. Making music with other people is infinitely more enjoyable than playing by yourself, you know. I could do solo things. I don't say I will do a solo concert, but I can play by myself. If someone asks me, sure, we can all do that. But it's a little bit more, it's a little bit less limiting in one sense, because you can do almost anything you want in terms of tempos, instruments you want to play, key you want to be in. Like, you don't have to worry about anything else. You can just be you, expressing yourself, sure. But the best music is music with other people, the interaction. It just can be a duo, and it elevates the experience so much more than a soloist. Because the nature of most percussion instruments, at least, is part of an ensemble, right? It's rare to see a solo percussion tradition, you know. it's developed. Even a tabla solo, he's playing with someone else. He's playing with the nagma or the lera player. Someone is there, or someone could be keeping tala. Like there's an interaction, right? Me and my friend carried 2 of these on the back of motorcycles from his village back to where we were. When we got back to the city, we had to take motorcycles again around the city, so we're just carrying this on the side, holding on to the motor taxi guy. In the car, the van, like the passenger sort of van, they're on our laps. We're like this for like 5 hours, and then finally I got back to the village in Ghana, and I had to get like a little box made to carry 2 of them back to Canada safely with me. Yeah, and this is one of them. Yeah. My first experience with Kwasi Dunyo, who's a Ghanaian drummer and dancer. My first experience with him actually here, that blew my mind immensely. First time playing that music for the public and the interaction and the feeling. With him, for sure. Any chance I've had to be on stage with Trichy Shankaran has been, mind-blowing. Even as just carrying his drum and sitting there and giving him tea, I count that as sharing the stage. Because you're in it, right? You're feeling that vibe up and close. No lie, the main thing that spurred me to take the plunge into academia was to perhaps generate some, now I understand, false sense of security for my later life. Because this is where it came from. So I've been playing music, gigging, lugging instruments in and out of cars and bars, tours, whatever. I've been doing all that. I know that lifestyle. I know how a tour works. I know you're on the road for a certain amount of time. You're getting paid a certain amount of money. There's no security at the end of it. What you get, that's it. There's no pension fund unless you're in the AFFM, which I'm not going to talk about the AFFM pension fund. Anyways, so I looked forward about 20 years after seeing many musicians older than me. Not necessarily percussionists, just like guitarists, whatever. And I saw these guys and the troubles they're having, health issues, heart attacks, body issues, maybe they can't lift what they could before, but they still need to maintain the same amount of energy, output, activity, doing all these things, hustling, right? I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I said, I've always had an academic interest in a lot of, especially with my world music interests. I've always, read a lot of things and thought about, topics and issues. So people have been telling me also for many years, oh, you should write a book or go do a PhD based on all the studies I've done. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll look into it. So I moved to Vancouver 2009. I did talk with the head of the ethnomusicology department there, Michael Tenzer, at the time, asking him about it, what's involved, am I gonna have to jump through a lot of hoops, can I still play, all these things. He gave me some honest answers. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just give it a couple of years in Vancouver as a musician, see how I like it. And so I did that for 4 years, just playing music. And it was good, still difficult because a lot of the music I play, which is what we consider world music, like world music kind of had its peak, in the, I'd say early 2000s, mid 2000s, and the interest in it, in media, in festival and whatnot, kind of petered out a little bit, right? So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do as a musician? So then I said, okay, I'll try this ethno thing out, get a PhD, because I could do a fast track, won't have to do a master's, and I have so much field work done already and with the subject I was gonna do. So I went into it, and academia is, it's its own little universe. It exists by its own rules. I've always had one foot in it and one foot out. Always aware that I will exist in this way, always. I'll never jump fully into the academic mind and world because I can't. As a performing musician, you can't ignore what's going on outside the ivory tower, so to speak. I play live music, of course, yeah. Because that's where music exists. It exists for other people to enjoy there in the moment, right? A recording, do enjoy recording studio. You can do a lot of experimenting, play with the sounds, you know, really shape the music how you want, sonically and also formally. But yeah, live is where the interaction is between you as musicians and you and the people listening or dancing. So. Yeah, no-brainer. Live is it. The music existed before a recording studio existed. Maybe it's because I'm not too ambitious. I'm not very ambitious, so I don't get too what's the word? Frustrated by if something is not going the way I want it to go. I'm happy with what I do and what I've done and what I might do tomorrow. I don't need a great sense of validation from whatever that means, whether it's an award from an organization or whether it's a gig that has 5,000 people, whatever it is. I'm happy as long as I have some mildly stimulating, challenging, and fulfilling musical experience to do. That seems to keep me happy. I'm always interested to meet new people, make new projects if my life allows for it. But right now, with the family especially, I've learned to say no to a lot of things, and especially being in school. So that was a very important thing to say no, because sometimes I would just say yes to everything, because you, as a freelancer, you just want to be available all the time. So you're afraid to say no. But then that means you get stuck in some musical situations that you really don't enjoy that much, but you're in them now, and how do you get out of them? So I've had to tell some people, I can't do this anymore, sorry, or I don't have time. If you have a certain amount of free time now, you want to put it towards things that are really fulfilling to you. So to stay grounded, yeah, it's just perspective. You need to know what's good for you and your people, and hopefully it aligns with other people in your world.